Hello. All right, so we're going to be answering the question, what is a session with me like? So first we have to also answer, what kind of session are you wanting with me? Because I kind of do a few different things. And so let's break down the types of sessions you could even have with me. So we could just do a traditional tarot session. And so it can be a general reading, relationship reading, career reading, spiritual path guidance. There's lots of different ways that I can help, look at your situations. And so a tarot reading is going to be not just tarot cards, but oracle cards, astrology, numerology. I'm including a lot of things into that. And we'll go into that in more detail in just a minute. I also do the QHHT sessions. And so that is a past life regression. And so that's going to be a different type of experience with me. And so I've talked about the QHHT sessions before. I have another video that really goes into detail about that. So we're going to talk more about what it is to have the tarot session with me. And so another thing that I do is I do a lot of ascension coaching and twin flame coaching. And that comes in the form usually of, it starts with a tarot reading. And in the tarot reading, it's where I'm kind of realizing, especially if it's twin flame, those are more consultations. And we're moving differently. When we're doing a twin flame session, that's going to be different than probably any of the other types of sessions I do. All right, so let's talk about just a traditional tarot reading with me. So you decide, I want a tarot reading. I'm going to book with Jennifer. And so you're first going to decide, do you want to have a Zoom reading with me? I don't do any in-person readings, but you can have a live reading with me through Zoom, or I do pre-recorded video readings. And my preference is the pre-recorded video readings because I get really nervous in the live sessions just because I am awkward. But I can do both. And I think that other people, they enjoy the live sessions with me more than they enjoy the pre-recorded videos because they like interacting with me. And you do get different experiences based off of what you choose there. So with the pre-recorded, the way that would work is that there's an intake form that you're filling out, and it has all of these questions on it that help give me the information that I'm going to need to be able to create your video for you. And so it's going to be asking what type of reading you're wanting. It's going to ask, what is your specific questions? What kind of guidance are you looking for? And then I'm giving you space to tell me anything else that you want me to know. A lot of times people do not want me to know anything because they have this idea that of what being psychic means. And I think that that's something that needs to shift too, is what that means, because we're all pulling the information in different ways. A lot of people, when they think a psychic, they think, they see the visions. They can see everything about me. They know everything about me. And it's not really like that for everybody. Everybody's gifts and talents are different. And so my main talents are, or my main gifts are clairaudience, clairsentience, and claircognizance. I do very rarely get clairvoyance, but that's like the least of what I will get. More than likely, it's going to be the clairaudient or the clairsentient. Those are the ones that I feel the most when I'm doing my readings. And so clairaudience is clear hearing. And so it's usually words will trigger like the information for me, or it's words. And so like I will see a card, and sometimes I'll get just the audible guidance coming in when I'm reading from the book. That a lot of times will be where I'm getting a lot of the audible stuff happening. Sometimes even I'll get like songs playing in my head, or I'll just get like, I'll get words. I get the words. It's like, usually it'll be one word here or there. It's not like the full sentence. I would just get a word. So again, like I said, because people have different expectations of what it means, to be psychic, they will have different expectations of me. I don't like when people come to me and want me to prove anything to them. Like, if you're not just excited and you believe that, this, is a co-collaborative experience, I don't think we're going to have fun with this. So those intake forms for the pre-recorded readings, I can get a lot of information, or I can get a very little amount of information. And what has shocked me is how still spot on those readings can still be. And so once I get that information, I'm going to be processing, how do I get to the answer they're looking for? So, I mean, they usually have a specific question, and a lot of times it is a love reading. And so, is this person coming back? What was their purpose in my life? Do I need to move on from this person? Those types of questions. And so I am just thinking through the different decks that I have, the different spreads that I could use, and just putting together this whole, system that's going to be able to pull out the information for me. And so sometimes, just depending on what they're asking, especially if they give me their astrology information too, I will pull up their astrology chart and it'll give me information. Or based off of the birth date, it'll have numerology information for me. And so I really am pulling information in all kinds of ways. And then before I do that reading, I'm always connecting with the Akashic records as well. So I'm like, I have so many different ways that I'm pulling in the information so that I can get them the best guidance as possible. And so I do the reading, and then they'll usually get the recording like the next day, and they watch it in the privacy of their own home as many times as they want. And that's how the pre-recorded works. So if you wanted the Zoom reading with me, that session is different because you are a part of that session. And so the difference of that is that, okay, while I'm doing the pre-recorded, I'm having to really think about, as the information is coming out, what questions you're going to want to know the most out of like what the cards are telling me. Now, what kind of questions is that going to be sparking for you to where I can get you the best guidance as possible? So if you're sitting across from me, you're going to be seeing it as it's coming out. And I'm going to be reading you like literally right in the moment to see how you are taking the information. Like what's catching your attention, what's kind of like if I'm seeing something that should have caught your attention and you're not even seeing it, I'm taking in so much more information from that type of reading that you are going to get a better experience usually. And you're going to go away feeling like, well, what people tend to say is like, it's like she knew everything about me. And it's not really that I knew this. I don't. In fact, I never know if I'm right. I never know. Like, I just trust that what I'm saying, what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling is the right thing to say. And I just let it happen. And it's just been right enough times that I just keep, okay, well, it was right then. So I'm just going to keep doing it. And so I don't typically know, but I'm really good at like, okay, I know the cards. I know that. And so like, as you're telling me, like, as we're working through this together, like, okay, here's what the cards are saying. And like a lot of times, like I'll find some cards that people can be really resistant about. And I will just like, this is like, no, this is here for a reason. I need you to really think hard. Like, what is this? My internet's going out. Okay, so then we have somewhere we can go with that. And then they'll help me guide the questions. And it's just a more interactive reading. I feel like that even though I am nervous and I'm not really great socially, for whatever reason, they tend to they love the Zooms. They love the Zoom calls. They love the interaction. They love the way that like I pull them in. I mean, and what what I have found so many times, especially this is with the pre-recordeds. I get this information with the pre-recordeds. People are taking pages and pages of notes out of what I tell them. And I'm just like, really? What did I say? And that's another part. I won't usually retain anything that I've said after it's out. So like, don't come back and ask me about that reading because it wasn't mine. That was yours. It's not even going through here. It's just coming out. And yeah, I think I've rambled enough on this. I don't know if I made sense. Hopefully you do have an idea of what to expect in the different types of sessions that I do. I mean, what you're typically going to get with me is you're going to understand yourself on a soul level and you may not have been prepared for that. Because I do a lot of past life work, and I do a lot of work in the higher levels of consciousness. And so, like, I see things from a much higher perspective. And so I'm like, bird's eye view. This is what's happening on a soul level in your life. And this is how it's manifesting out into your 3D. And so, like, if you want to shift, between the two, like, I'm helping you to kind of see the path through that. And it's just most people aren't used to thinking at that type of level. Most people, it's just whatever's right here in front of me. That's what I'm most interested in. That's what I'm looking at. And they're not even seeing how everything has, connected together to get them to where they're at right now. So, yeah, I think I'm going to probably open your mind a lot. And I'm going to give you a lot to think about with any of the readings that I do. But if I do the Zoom reading, you're going to have a much more collaborative. You're going to have an actual role to play in that. And so I think that it will feel more personal to you just because of that. But the pre-recorded, I still get really good reviews on that. So it's a preference. Some people don't want to be on camera. So I get that too. And then if you do the, again, the twin flame, that's a whole different thing too. And it's more of a consultation, because I'm going to ask you a lot of questions. Once you bring me into that realm, I'm going to ask you a lot of questions to just see, number one, are you a twin flame, and where are you at on this journey? Because that's going to tell me like what to expect for you and what you need to do, and like kind of how I can get your mindset in the right place for where you're at. So yeah, I have a lot of different offerings, and it just really depends on what you're looking for as to how it's going to be experienced.